Well, hello there, everybody. Welcome to some more Sega Genesis, the best console that ever existed, right? This is Golden Axe 2 from 1991. This is the direct follow-up to the home version of Golden Axe for the Genesis from, I think, '89. This is not actually an arcade game, unlike the first game. This one came out specifically just for Genesis. And then the arcade game I was referring to was called The Revenge of Death Adder, that came out in '92. And that does get confused a lot with the actually really good D&D game in the arcades, but they're both good games. So anyways, we're playing on normal difficulty, leaving that life meter alone, and playing as Tyris again. My god, this is one of the most interesting games I've played in a long time. This took me about 2 weeks, by the way, to get down. And this is all post-commentary for very obvious reasons, but man, if you want to hear the best noise ever, it's not as good as the infamous that's the best sound in all of any video game ever. It's seriously my favorite video game sound ever. But this game is... I hate it. I really do. Like I said, it took me about 2 weeks to get this shit down. This is a brutal, brutal game. And I actually was like... I said in the first Golden Axe video, that game made me shake with rage. This game made me feel like I'd given up on life by the end of it, because I was like, how the fuck do you do this? And it's not even that hard of a game. It's actually a lot better, I think, than Golden Axe 1 in terms of control. Immediately. It's a lot more snappy. You don't feel as locked in. You can kind of cancel out of stuff a little bit easier. It's a little bit more floaty in good ways, but it's still got that kind of stiff jank that the first game has, but not in a bad way. And I believe this was also made by a different team. I think the original team that made the first game was Team Shinobi, which I didn't mention this in the last video. They did not make the Shinobi games. They were just called Team Shinobi. That was an entirely separate department. I think that was just Sega Base Studio, which is what worked on this. This game is fucking brutal. It is easier in a lot of aspects, but simultaneously extremely difficult. One thing you can also notice you can do now is you can charge up your magic. I think that's what you have it on special in the options, is it just lets you charge it up to use however much you want at once, rather than just expend the whole bar. Tyris obviously has the highest magic, so she's pretty solid for taking care of bosses, if you can hold on to it and not get killed in the process. And just like the first game, you had the camping scenes. This game does not do what I think Golden Axe 3 does infinitely better, which is food in between, like, stretches of areas, as well as at the end of levels. This game still relies on that, like, get to the end of the level and then you can heal. But right off the bat, level 2 is probably one of the hardest fucking levels in the entire game. So you see these red dudes? Any enemy coated with red is going to have a instant aggression, as well as, like, this kind of, like, charge attack radius is just, it's basically sweep distance. So right away you can see how much harder this game immediately starts kicking your ass. The guys with the claws are called Grenis, by the way. I was just calling him Garradors the whole game. And then the club guys are called Zakars. I was calling them club dudes the whole game. I think that that's perfectly acceptable. So one thing you want to do immediately when you're trying to play this game, don't be an idiot like me and play it on 3 pips of life. Put it on 5. Don't make my mistake. I was driving myself up a wall to get this game finished for you guys. But one thing you want to do immediately when you start playing this as well is learn what kills you and when enemies trigger, because holy shit, this game has a lot of bullshit. It's not even anywhere near as fair as the original Golden Axe, which I think the original Golden Axe is actually pretty fine in terms of difficulty. Of course, up until the very last, like, boss, because fucking why? I don't know. But in terms of difficulty, this game does the the tried and true method of how to not make a game actually hard. And you can see right away what that is. We are immediately getting thrown into situations with 3 and sometimes 4 enemies. This shit is what makes this game ridiculous. You could be like, oh, dude, you died on the 2nd level? I have died there every single time I have played this game. I am not even exaggerating. This exact spot or just a tiny bit further ahead is always where I lose at least 1 life. The only time it hasn't happened was when I got curious and put it on 5 pips of life, and I didn't die here. That was the only time it didn't happen. And I only did that once out of desperation to practice. I was like, good God, this game is insanely difficult. And you're probably like, this doesn't look that hard. It is. It is unbelievably frustrating. And it's almost that kind of level of frustration that's not horrible. It's actually kind of fun. Because it's a lot like... I mean, nobody's going to understand what I'm saying when I say this, probably. It's a lot like speedrunning Dark Souls 1 compared to 2. 1 is a lot more freeform and you can make more mistakes. 2 is very linear and stricter with the mistakes, and you just kind of learn to play perfectly. I kind of like that about this game, but I also think it's extremely unforgiving. So the skeletons, if you couldn't tell, these are the most common enemy in the game. They are absolutely everywhere, and I cannot believe I whiffed my magic. I thought that he was dead. Well, he wasn't, and that was not a fun thing. So we gotta fight this headless knight and 2 more skeletons a little bit longer than normal. So normally if you're playing as Tyris and you have level 6 magic, those 2 guys die and this guy dies in 1 combo. Now this fucking enemy, by the way, on the right, look what I'm doing. Watch. Run towards them, look at what direction they're going, push forward in that direction, up or down, and then smash the shit out of the attack combo. If you don't do that, they will immediately counter you every single time, and they will absolutely fuck you up. They are the hardest enemy in the entire game and took me the longest to figure out how to deal with. And oh my God, when I got that shit down, I felt like such a man. I walked outside, screamed, I fucking did it! And then I went back inside because it was cold. Now, a lot like the problem of Golden Axe 1, you don't get any overheal in this game either. Golden Axe 3 allows you to get health in between parts of the level and extend your health meter in that game. You don't actually have the pip system like you do in this one. It's a lot more fair. It's also a marginally better game, but want to see what this level starts off with? 4 fucking enemies. And thank God they're blue. Blue enemies in this game are actually considered a lower tier of enemy, so you can do a lot more shit. And I haven't even probably mentioned it yet. You've been noticing every now and then I do that little backflip kick. That's done by holding down jump and attack, just like the first game. But this game, it's actually a really, really good move because it actually hits enemies in front of and behind you. But it's relatively, like, risky to do. You have to really know when to do it. But at least you have the option. It's not as useful as, like, the block feature in 3, but it is pretty good if you're getting your ass kicked. So right here, the first thing you want to do is don't make my mistake and jump slash these guys because, god damn it, I whiffed and lost 1 magic pip. Walk to the corner here. Don't try to fight these Fursona dudes one-on-one. Fuck that. Kick them down the hole. You're not trying to be fucking fancy here. Take 1 step over there, and sometimes that guy does a rush. It's fine. These guys are actually pretty easy. They'll actually allow you to do a melee combo if you do that little zigzag pattern there. They're not too bad. They only follow up on jump attacks with their 2 hits like that. I'm so lucky he didn't hit me there, by the way. The claw dudes, they can actually punish you pretty bad on jumping attacks, so you gotta remember that. There's not really that many enemy types in this game. Golden Axe in general doesn't have ever that many enemy types in the whole game. Even 3 doesn't have that many either. But immediately, you'll probably learn real quick what I'm doing. I am baiting out every single enemy because this game has pissed me off so hard that I do not care to fight fair. It's also Golden Axe. For God's sake, this game is brutal as hell. Just use the edges and stuff to your advantage because they're the most safe thing ever. But don't stand too close because enemies can still hit you in that lower portion there if you're just right up where my foot's at, like there. Sometimes you can also despawn this claw dude. I don't know why. I don't really know how to do it. I've probably been able to do it half and half, and right there I made that terrible mistake. But it's actually kind of okay because I don't die here anyways, so... I know there's food coming up. That's the only other reason, too. Also, I think if you're playing on easy difficulty, this is where the game will end after the boss fight, if you want to call it that, at the end of this. So, charge up your magic, and as soon as you see these snake guys, fucking magic their ass. It is imperative. So, snake guys we'll talk about later. These ones aren't that aggressive, but they're still very dangerous. You can see I'm using the later strategy I know works on them, and I cannot believe I got hit there. I was so fucking pissed. But that's what I mean. This game immediately starts throwing up to 4 enemies at you at a time, and that's not even the worst of it. This is just going to get much more heinous by the second. So, this is usually where I will lose my very first continue. It is absolutely one of the hardest, if not the hardest portion of the entire game. I think this is harder than, it's called Dragon's Throat, in case you couldn't tell. This is absolutely worse than the last level. This is where, when I was learning the game, I had to, like, buckle in and just, like, figure it out. So, oh boy. This is a level that will teach you how to actually fight the Skelemans, okay? Now, don't do what I'm doing and being really cocky. This is actually extremely difficult. So you can see these guys are already laying down. So there's actually going to be 2 skeletons over here. Sometimes you can get that other guy over there on the right. You can sometimes get him to wake up and then just immediately run off the cliff. I can't really tell you the exact spot. I don't have it figured out. I'm sure if you like stood on the edge, but I've gotten knocked into that damn thing like twice, and I was like, nope, we're never doing that again. This game makes you learn what not to ever do again because of one dumb mistake, and it's absolutely heart-wrenching when it happens. So, if you couldn't tell, the secret sauce to Skeleman is to bait out jump attacks and then do down slashes. That's like the safest, and you can be like, that looks really cheap. There's 3 of these fuckers on me right now. If I move even just slightly over to the right too far, in which I did, I didn't even realize I did that till looking back, you're gonna have 4. Do you really think that this is the kind of game where you need to play fair? And they follow up every single time with a mid-range sweep. It's unbelievable. You get your shit pushed in by these guys so easy. If you try to play this game like, you know, Streets of Rage, where you're just doing melee combos, you will die in seconds. I don't even think you can make it past the second stage without, like, doing what I'm doing. It's absolutely impossible without some sort of cheese like this. So one thing you want to do is only walk as far as I did to bait out Lizard Guy. So Lizard Guy is a little tough. Anything past sweep distance, they can actually immediately counter you with that run slash. That thing has a massive hitbox and it will fuck you up. Just let them bait out attacks, and then I'll actually demonstrate it a little bit better after this too. Club guys, nah, they're not a problem. If you have trouble with club guys, it's because you're getting too aggressive and you're not planning your attacks well enough. They're really not a problem. It's the claw dudes and the fucking lizard men that are the biggest problem in this game. But yeah, if you walk too far to the right here, you will aggro both of them on top of that, and it's a pain in the ass. Same thing here, just very gently lure this guy out. Otherwise, you fight 2. So you'll see what I'm doing. Stand about sweep range, that's way too fucking risky, and I died because of it, and it's my own fault. Let them kind of get a little bit closer, just outside the corner of the screen, and do jump slashes after they whiff their attack. If you do it just right, like I'm doing, you will always hit them. If you fuck up by 1 frame, they will counter with their tail whip and hit you, and it will deal a fuckload of damage. It's more damage than their sword slashes. It's awful. So this is why I'm saying this game's brutal. And right here, oh my god, this is the worst spot in the entire level. This doesn't look too bad, but that dragon there, that thing can actually hit you from like a mile away. The first thing you want to do, get on the dragon when you get to it, and do this. Not get hit. Kick the, I mean, they're not thieves, they're actually mages in this game. And then just try and blast them away. I fucked up real hard here, but it's okay. So, the red lizard guy, they are instantly aggressive on, you'll see it too. So, anything over from like sweep distance, they will immediately counter with an unavoidable, and keep in mind, unavoidable damage from the front with the jumping attack. It's horrible. I hate these enemies. These are the hardest enemy in the entire game. Like that. See how fast they can do it? You have to be like right on their ass. So the safest thing to deal with these guys, by the way, is that dragon. But I fucked it up. So I totally am mad at myself still. Even watching this back, like I was so... I didn't think I was going to get through the game because of that one mistake. And they also have a very fast, like, counterattack. So you can see immediately why I'm like, don't be an idiot like me and try to play the game with, like, just 3 pips of health. Just put it on 5. This game is not fair. So, charge up your magic. Boom. This is a lot easier with magic. Because, holy shit. There's 2 of those, like, pinkish red lizard guys, and these guys will die with just 2 jump kicks. Might even be 1 if you're playing as another character. I don't know. So, 2 hits and they go down like sacks of shit. And you'll get 2 extra pieces of food, so it's fine. You'll always get 2 extra from one of these thieves. So, infinitely worth it. This is called, I love this. We have passed through the long red hot cave and found the castle gate standing in front of us. Long red hot cave. That was my nickname in college that I didn't go to. So this level is pretty fucking awful. But it's not as bad as long as you can do it correctly. So these are pretty aggressive coded like snake dudes. But the strategy's still the same. They're not as bad as the fucking awful pink ones, but I really screwed up their positioning here. I was pretty annoyed. But I was lucky enough that they stayed on the same plane, but that's also the biggest problem. I thought they were close enough to be, like, whiffed, but nope, I screwed up pretty hard here. This is why I'm like, this run, I just cracked open an NA beer and just went to town. I got off work and was done with all the stuff I had to do after it. And I was like, well, I guess I'll just play the game and record it and see how it goes. And this was the first attempt I did. So, yeah. First actual continue use. The best strategy for this level. Use this fucking dragon. I can say it's doable without it, because I've actually done it plenty of times without it. I can get to the castle gate, usually with just 1 continue. But if you don't get this dragon, this shit's awful. And I'll show you why. You see how that chicken leg is right over there? If you can do it just right, you can lure enemies onto it because their AI always goes towards mounts. But if you don't, it's a hellhole and you have a bunch of crap on you. And just lure these guys down here. You don't need to worry about luring the thief. I don't know why you do. I'm going to call them thieves, I'm sorry. But there's another chicken leg guy here. The chicken leg is hot garbage. That thing is terrible. Just fucking ignore it. Let it run away, do whatever. Just get rid of it. Be really careful, because if you go too far, too fast here, you'll end up with 2 of those fucking fursona dudes, and like 2 aggressive, like I said, red just equates to does follow up really fast. So yeah, you do not want to fuck around. I am so lucky I did this. With the dragon, by the way, I was like, this was the game changer right here, was this fucking dragon mount. Don't try to do the fire attack, it's too slow. Do the jumping attack, it does more damage, and then just do that to finish him off. And same thing, do not go too far too fast. Just bait this guy out and get rid of him. And then guess what? There's 2 more! Isn't that great? You can see immediately why I think this game's really fun. In that kind of like, it's so hard, it's actually like doable. But it's also like really bullshit because it just does that whole thing of, well, we're going to make the game harder by throwing more enemies at you. And I think that works in some games, but not all. And then 2 headless knights. Oh boy. This was the first thing that would absolutely annihilate my lives in the entire game. Like the first time playing it. You can get away with using the dragon here. This is something I didn't even think you could get to with the dragon, but you can. So that makes things immediately easier. So if you can hold on to that thing, just do it. Oh yeah, by the way, Dark Gold is the big bad guy. I don't know, he's just a bad guy. Oh boy. Getting to this point consistently was the best feeling ever because this game is so fucking hard. And if you haven't noticed, yeah, these guys can do melee attacks. They're not as defenseless as the thieves from the first game. But if you kill them too quickly, they don't drop as many spell books. So don't be like, oh god, that last part was horrible. These guys are surprisingly docile. You know, they're still smacking their claws, they're still fucking swinging their clubs, whatever. But yeah, they're actually like hard-coded to be less aggressive. I just was in shock at this point, by the way. I took way too much dumb damage. But if you're careful and you stay over to the left more, you can lure this lizard guy out. This guy is dumb. I'm not saying he's like difficult, I'm saying just he's stupid. He is actually programmed to be very docile. So, oh boy. These guys right here are the biggest source of frustration in the game for me. So, right there, you see what I'm talking about? That's the only thing I hate about them. You can do this, which is bait them out, move over, and jump kick, but that sometimes fucking sucks because they're not programmed to like do that attack twice in a row. They have to have distance to do it, and since their distance check isn't far enough, they won't do it. So if there's only one of them, it's not a big deal. But I just whiffed so hard on these guys. I do not know why. It also was probably like 9:30 or something when I did this. Yeah, it was. I'm looking at the actual file. It says it was 9:56 when I did this, so, or at least the game was over. So yeah, I was pretty exhausted. So move all the way to the edge of this thing, and that guy will always fall off. Don't worry about getting kicked off. These guys don't have like crazy aggression when it comes to like leaping attacks. So if you move too far to the right, guess what happens? You'll spawn 2 snake dudes. Yeah, you don't want that. So just stay over here and beat the shit out of this guy in a corner. Do not feel bad. This is the end of the game. You got this far, you obviously know what you're doing. Same thing applies here. Walk forward. Let this right-hand guy just drop. Now this is actually dangerous because these guys can whip you off of it, and they can charge you off that hole. Yeah, that's not fun. That's happened to me like 5 times. I'd rather not have it happen ever again. I preferably don't want to play this game ever again. It's absolutely great, but it's horrible. It like broke my soul. So this is what kills me every single time the most, is these damn... I just call them personas. I actually think they're a pretty cool monster design because they're like a minotaur with a dog and like a dude. It looks really cool. I actually think they're a neat design, but fucking hell, if you don't get them at the just perfect angle, you can see immediately how bad this can go. And if you don't just... You see what I mean? Look at that. I hate how long it takes for that attack to just start hitting you. I'd rather them just hit you immediately. If it was honestly up to me, I just like say screw it. Because sometimes those frames can like... I think there's like one where it just starts immediately doing damage. I'm like, fuck it, just make the whole thing hurt you like that. That's way more easy to understand. But it doesn't matter. If you're actually paying attention, I'm sure you can do this game a lot easier than I did. And these skeletons, by the way, have max aggression. So if you make a single error, they will immediately counter you. It's ungodly. There's some video on here on YouTube of some dude playing the game as Tyris on normal. And I don't think he dies a single time. And I swear to Christ that entire like run has got to be TAS. There's no way in hell you can play this game that perfectly. I just do not believe it. The enemies in this game are so unbelievably annoying, and they counter you so well. I'm not gonna say that guy's a cheater, but I really think he's not legit. I don't know, maybe he is, and I just suck. You can say, Seth, you're getting hit a lot, that's why you suck. Yeah, thanks, I noticed. But anyways, this is the last magic pickup in the game. And this is also why I say Golden Axe 3 does this a lot better. You can actually get food in between the level bits. Because, the fuck, man, you're just expected to deal with this entire game from that last part in the cave up to here without even taking a single fucking hit, right? I just wanted to use a little bit of magic to show off on this part. Not necessary. I actually wasted a pip on accident, and I freaked out there because I'm like, you're fucking kidding me. So, thankfully I could hit it with my sword, but god, that freaked me out. A little bit upset that it wasn't full magic, but whatever. I deal with it eventually. This part is also extremely aggravating because you had 3 different planes. Sometimes you can get that, like, skeleton at the top there. He'll sometimes just walk off the edge. I don't know if you can do it. I assume you can. I don't want to find out. But the best thing you're probably thinking is, oh, just stand up on the top. I don't know what the hell it is. This is what happens. One of these guys will get too far to the right. He'll knock you off of it. Then 2 of them will get on that middle step. Either stay on the bottom or stay on the top. It's up to you. And then we got Golden Bros over here. It's Golden Bros. And we use one more continue. My god. I wish I actually played this a little less sloppy, but I really don't want to play this game again. It's fun. It's great. And I actually was going to say, I think if this was in co-op, this would be a hell of a lot better. It is way less frustrating with 2 people. Because number 1, 2 people equals 2 life bars on screen. That equals much longer gameplay. And it takes fucking heat off of you, which this game fucking throws on you like a goddamn flamethrower. So, this is the final room in the game. Man. The moment I got here, I was like, holy shit, that's the beginning of the game. Like, that's the intro screen. This is badass. We're fucking there, dude. And, the first time I got here, I was so hyped. I'm like, okay, that's actually a relatively short game. Thank God it's almost over. Part of me said, well, it can't be that easy. And you know what? It's just a headless knight. Go figure. Nice little psych out, by the way, because the graphic up there, I like that. That's actually pretty cool. You'll see what I'm talking about when I walk up forward some more. But because I didn't have max magic, I do have to combo these guys a tiny bit, which is extremely scary. Because I did not want to be anywhere near that dude. So you can see what I'm talking about. This guy is so unbelievably aggressive. So watch what I'm doing. As soon as you like run forwards, like right up close to him, watch. Run forward, move down, hold it, and then just smash the button, right? There's no point in doing anything else. If you do a jump kick, you have frames where you're not moving, and you will get countered immediately. So, do what I'm doing, it's way safer. And I really do think that's actually clever. Oh, fucking hell. Watching this back, I can't believe I got hit there. But this guy is actually pretty easy. I mean, the Headless Knights are actually relatively simple. Like, their AI is just like, I'm gonna move. But here comes the real trouble. Here he is. Dark Gold himself. Look at this fucking beefcake. Yeah, it's basically just Death Adder again. So, you're probably like, alright, what's this guy's fucking nonsense? Well, a lot like I almost called him Darth Adder. Deathbringer from the first game. He will cast magic on you, but he also summons skeletons. He can summon up to 3 fucking skeletons, by the way, and they are awful. But if you want to be really cheesy like me, run up, do that Headless Knight strategy, beat the shit out of him, and then just do this. So, it's hard to explain what I'm doing. I'm just tanking the fuck out of it. And you can say, that's really lame. Does this look fair? It ain't. So, once you get hit, immediately change direction. So, like, yeah, you can be like, oh, Seth, you died. You fucking scrub. No. So, once you get hit by a skeleton or his attack, immediately hold left and start smashing the attack button. And do combos until he's dead. That is the safest tank strategy. The other legitimate strategy is to do the exact same Headless Knight strategy and then just do what I'm doing, essentially, is just run up and then run away. This is much, much safer, because if you're not careful, once he has 3 skeletons on the screen, he'll start doing his magic randomly, and it takes away, like almost an entire pip of health every single time, and he emulates your character's magic attack. I don't think it does any difference in damage, but it's still very annoying. So there he goes. Oh, look at that. That's just great. He just turns into a bunch of balls, and then there's the golden axe. After the long, hard battle, you finally defeat the evil emperor. By the way, he's an emperor now. Now the world will be at peace again. You are a true hero. Oh, I bet. You ready for the greatest ending of all time? We come out of a big pile of red balls, and everyone's scared shitless of us. That's it. That's the game. I'm not even making this up. This is the whole thing. There's no extra... There's no story. No fancy enemy stats. Nothing. That's it. That's all you get. So, in conclusion, I do like Golden Axe 1 better. It's shorter. It's more fair. It's still bullshit difficult. Let's not make any mistake about it. But it is a little bit more charming. This game feels a bit more generic, even though it does have better music, I think, in some spots. It's a strange step forward and also a step backwards at the same time without being one step in the opposite direction. It's so awkward to explain this game, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. I really don't want to play it ever again. I'm sure with practice I could do this even better. And I could probably not use that tank strategy, but my god, you can't pay me enough to want to do anything other than that. So, I'm going to leave here and say thanks for watching. Maybe I'll do Golden Axe 3 soon. I've been playing that. So, yeah. I'll see you in the next one.